Mr. Moderator. So, to Madam SRSG, the Special Representative of the Secretary-General, Vanessa Fraser, to Norway's State Secretary, Andrés Kravik, my friend, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, colleagues and friends, good morning. I have been asked to do two things today, one of which I'm very comfortable doing, which is offering some words of thanks and welcome on behalf of the United Nations in Kenya. The second, I'm much less comfortable doing, which is adding my thoughts on the importance of safe schools. And the reason I'm uncomfortable with that, I'll come to in just a second. So let me start with the sincere thanks. Thanks to the government of Kenya, indeed, and His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, will be with us very shortly. Also to thank the Safe School champion countries. Norway, through you, State Secretary, Spain, Argentina, Nigeria, but all of the, I think, more than 60 countries in the room, and the more than 100 that we have present in Kenya through the diplomatic corps, the 193 member states of the United Nations, all of you in your different ways, keeping this agenda alive and urgent. So that's the thanks and the welcome. The bit that I'm much less comfortable doing is adding my thoughts when we've heard so eloquently and movingly already this morning from our extraordinary young moderator, who I think did just an amazing job of reminding us how real this agenda is. And then my sister, Julia, from UNRWA, who just reminded us very viscerally how real, how alive, how important, but also how tragic and violated this agenda is. We are gathering at a time when, paradoxically, the Safe Schools Declaration matters more than ever, because in many ways it's being violated more than ever. Around the world, schools, places that should be sanctuaries of learning, are under attack. In 2023 alone, the Global Coalition to Protect Education from Attack documented over 3,000 incidents of attacks on schools, on students, and on educators. And, well, it's the oldest cliche in the world, isn't it? Behind every statistic of that kind is a shattered classroom, a teacher silence, a child robbed of their future. Right at the start of my own career in the 1990s, because I am an old man now, I worked in a succession of humanitarian crises. Somalia in 1992, Rwanda 1994, Angola, DR Congo. And I won't forget until the day I die that in all of those places I had exchanges with kids who had been driven or bombed out of their homes and their schools. Kids who you could so easily imagine saying some of the things that that little girl on the video from Gaza was saying about how much she misses her school, how much it's not the bombs that she fears or the bullets, but it is the thought that she might never again have the opportunity to learn. A little bit later, in 2007, our kids, 3 of them, they were young, missed 2 days of school because of open armed conflict on the streets of Kinshasa. Just 2 days. But it gave me the narrowest of windows into what it would be like to be a parent whose kids were missing not 2 days, but 2 years or 2 decades of education. Whether in Gaza, in Ukraine, in Sudan, we can keep multiplying the examples. DR Congo, a country that I know and love very well. This is the human cost of these attacks. And it's been said in so many ways this morning, and it will be said in many other ways as we continue. Education is a lifeline, not just a service that you can put to one side. When conflict causes schools to close, then hope also closes. When schools close, indeed, the Sustainable Development Goals fade. They're no longer the North Star of our collective determination and aspiration as a planet. Those 17 SDGs are left as just a forlorn and unachievable dream. And so we simply can't accept, permit, tolerate this. Not in this 21st century. Excellencies and friends, the states that have signed the Safe Schools Declaration are therefore duty bearers. That isn't just a symbolic point, it's a legal and moral responsibility. And implementing the Safe Schools Declaration means very concrete things, like the obligation to integrate the protection of education into military doctrine, to ensure accountability for violations, and to allocate resources to keep schools safe, even in times of crisis. So governments have a singular responsibility, but they can't do it alone. And civil society, the media, and communities are all essential to this fight too, and I know that all of those segments of our societies are represented in this chamber. Civil society in particular does and must call out attacks on education, amplify the voices of victims, and demand justice. Silence is complicity. Loud and persistent advocacy can afford at least a measure of protection. And so, as we get underway with this conference, let us remember, safeguarding education is not optional, it is foundational. It's the cornerstone of resilience, recovery, and again, of the Sustainable Development Goals, because education is at the foundation of the SDGs. If we fail to protect schools, we fail the SDGs. If we fail the SDGs, we fail the future. Sometimes, as I close, we're faced with cliché, because cliché somehow still tells the truth. It is said that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I think we're here in this room, in this chamber, to take note that it takes the world to protect a child's right to learn. So thank you for your solidarity in that fight, and let's hope that this meeting is more than just words, but takes forward a very real commitment to protect that child's right to learn, every child's right to learn. Asanteni sana, as we say here in Nairobi. Thank you very much.